Welcome to The Author's Journey with #1 international best-selling author and in-demand publisher, Rebecca Hall Greider. Today, we'll showcase the works of an amazing best-selling author, find out the story behind their book, and explore ways to bring your message powerfully forward. Now, here's your host, Rebecca Hall Greider.
Welcome, everyone, to The Author's Journey, and I'm excited to connect in with you today. We have another amazing author, expert, and influencer that we're going to be talking with today. As I'm looking forward to the conversation, excited to have all of you joining us. But let's take a moment and connect in. Our lives get so busy, we rush from one thing to the next. I want us to just take a breath together. An opportunity to catch up with ourselves a little bit and become fully present so that you can receive everything that is here for you to receive. Our guest that is joining us today, I love her. She is so accomplished and dynamic and powerful. I know there's going to be so much value you will get out of our time together today. So here's a couple tips as you're breathing and catching up. Beautiful. I encourage you to get a piece of paper. Be ready to take some notes for those things that strike you personally, that inspire you, that encourage you on your journey, whether it is as a writer or your journey in life. It's so easy to miss things or say, yeah, in the present I've got that, and then we forget. We move on to the next thing, the next shiny objects. I want to encourage you to be fully present, mind, body, soul, and spirit. This is a time for us to connect in and to pour into you and take it to the level where you take a couple of key points that will support you on your journey. And we'll give you commercial breaks, times where you can actually process and integrate those tips into your life. Wonderful. So welcome. And I wanted to more formally introduce Suzanne. I just shared that she's dynamic and amazing and I love her, which is all true. But let me give you just a snapshot of her. So Suzanne Nance is an international sought-after speaker, a coach consultant, a #1 international best-selling author. She is the world record holder as the #1 American woman to achieve the Explorer's Grand Slam. And for those of you who don't know what the Explorer's Grand Slam is, that means she summited the tallest mountains on each of the 7 continents and skied to both the North and the South poles. And she's the first American woman to do this. Huge accomplishment. She also, in doing this and the work that she does, she has discovered the secrets of overcoming obstacles and building dynamic teams to achieve great results, stepping fully into your powerful leadership calling and skills. She has helped hundreds of clients reach their goals and is passionate about helping you reach your amazing, powerful, huge goal. Please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful and dynamic Suzanne. That's so funny. I'm stumbling. Suzanne Nance. I got so excited to the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. Really appreciate your time and your energy. It's wonderful.
Oh, thank you. I'm thrilled to have you here. And I was thinking as I stumble over the intro, like we stumble, but we get up again. We just keep going forward and keep moving towards our goals. I appreciate your grace, and I'm thrilled to have you joining us today. I'd love for you to share a little bit about why you are called to helping people achieve those powerful, big goals, both personally and professionally. Why is that work important to you?
Thank you so much for asking that question. Yeah, it's a passion of mine. After I stepped off of Everest, the last of the 7 summits, it's a long trek, about two months up and down, and I got to thinking, gosh, if I could make the summit of Everest, and my goals at that time were the 7 summits, what's keeping other people from meeting their goals? So I decided it was important for me to go hone in and learn the coaching skills. I'm a board-certified coach and many more certification in coaching, because I want other people to realize that they have the same abilities that I do. They might not want to climb my Everest, but we all have an Everest in our life, a goal, that big, tough thing that seems that we can't do. And I want to guide, help other individuals reach their goals and their summits. And I love that feeling when they do, because when they are successful, I feel successful. It's, that old phrase, win-win situation. So that's why I got started.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. And I love how that became the next phase as you summited Everest. And now you are so passionate about helping others summit their goals and really achieve those things. And I know one of the things that you were led to do was to bring a book forward. And I'd love for you to share the title of your book and a little bit of what it's about.
Thank you. Yes, it was quite its own journey. Much like Kilimanjaro, it required that I took the first steps. And it's called Lead from the Top, How to Make Your Life, Your Team, and Your Leadership a Grand Adventure. And I started by sharing some of the stories of my expeditions, summiting or obstacles or team dynamics, and I wove it in with the stories and the tales of my corporate experience, helping teams and leadership and individuals meet their goals and get over their obstacles. So the two really seem to go hand in hand. It was about the same thing, only one was picturesque in a mountain and the other ones were in the cubicles of a workstation or place.
I like how they wove together, though, so powerfully in this book. And it's your book is so amazing. And I know as you brought it forward and you launched it, you got to go through all these parts of that journey, even of launching. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in our next segment, what some of that journey was like. But I love you said yes, that you were willing to bring this expertise and information forward and take on bringing your beautiful book, Lead from the Top, forward for all of us and launching it to become a #1 international bestseller. It was so powerfully received. And as we get ready to go to our first commercial break, listeners, I want you to take a moment and just think about some of what Suzanne has shared with us already and why she brought it forward, where she was able to bring together the adventuring that she does and the mountain climbing and skiing at the poles together with in corporate life. How do these things tie together so we can navigate powerfully in our life? And we'll look forward to continuing our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Be sure to friend us on Facebook. You can do it right now. Visit facebook.com/Voice America or search for us at keyword Voice America.
Are you ready to move to your next level? Listen for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with host Rebecca Hall-Greider. Each show will focus on a central topic with discussion, guests, and your questions being featured. Our show is perfect for women who feel a call in their heart to step out in a bigger, more powerful way in their life and just need some encouragement, inspiration, and practical steps to support them on their journey. Empowering Women, Transforming Lives can be heard live every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Influencers Channel. And join us for a replay of the show on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, an opportunity to just process some of what is being shared taking a moment to gather any thoughts, any ideas, any notes that are coming to your heart, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And I encourage you as we continue our conversation to do that. We're going to have an opportunity at the end of the show where I let you know how you can go deeper with Suzanne. You can connect with her further. So if you have some notes or questions, things you're wondering that we don't talk about today, make note of them so that you can connect and go deeper with Suzanne. Beautiful. So we have been talking with the amazing, dynamic Suzanne Nance, and she's sharing a little bit about the work that she does and why she brought her beautiful book forward, Lead from the Top, and a little bit of what it weaves together. And I'm curious, as you were creating this book and you're weaving together your corporate expertise and your adventure expertise and mountain climbing expertise, did you have a vision, something that you hoped people would gain for reading this book, something that would be something that they could carry forward or they'd be impacted by? I'd love to know your thoughts and your vision that you had for that.
So, the statistic is something as of, 2% of the population will actually carry through with their goals and their dreams, and the rest sort of amble along. Doesn't mean that they're unhappy. It's just that pie in the sky type of goal. And I realized that, again, I came from the Midwest. I wasn't from a climbing family or a super adventurer. And I realized as I was a consultant in the climbing world that in the corporate world that many people had obstacles or goals that they wanted to achieve, and they just didn't know how to break it down. So I guess if somebody takes something away from this, it's that, number one, almost any goal is achievable if that's really what you want to do. And you can set mileposts down along the way and take one step at a time towards those mileposts until you reach the final destination. And then it's okay to have another goal out there. It doesn't have to be a huge one, climb Everest right away. I didn't climb Everest right away. But there's so many analogies that happen in the business world, in real life. And so I hope people are able to take that away, that it's within them. And if they need a hand, I work as a consultant. I'm willing to give them a hand and show them that they have it within them, and we can set down a path and accomplish it together.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. As you were sharing what you hope people take from this book, and I love that we can accomplish far more than we realize, that we can take those steps, and that reminder that we don't have to do it alone. We can set those mileposts, those goals, and get support along the journey. I think it's super important. I really hope that we're able to raise that statistic from 2% to higher, that we are really that I heard that and I just kind of, wow, I hope that all of us were sobered by that. And here we have an opportunity, because we're all part of that, to shift that, to start to bring forward those goals, those dreams, and make them happen, that we can start setting the path. And I was reflecting back to the beginning of your book where you wrote down some goals you started. Do you mind sharing a little bit of just a summary of the opening segment when you decided to set a goal and kind of what you started to do? I mean, you really just started. I loved it.
Well, as I said, I didn't know anything about mountain climbing, so I took out a little tiny spiral notebook, not very big, certainly not very thick, and I realized that what I really wanted to do was on the last page, summit Mount Kilimanjaro. So then I flipped all the way back to the beginning, and I started on each page writing down something that I thought I would need to know or learn or do to get to that final page. And it went immunizations. I had to go someplace in Africa, so I knew I needed something, shots or something, vaccines. It went to transportation. I had no idea how to get to Africa. Training, gear, finding a climbing company. And so every day, no matter what, I did at least one thing on one of those pages, a milestone, a milepost, so that I could get to the final goal, summiting Kilimanjaro. And trust me, there were things along the way that I had to learn that I wanted to have immunizations. But in the very beginning, I didn't even know where Kilimanjaro was and what country it lay in Africa. So I had to make a new page on geography. But eventually, I did get to my final goal. So.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I love that because that's a huge undertaking. I want to climb this mountain, and then you just broke it down step by step by step. And I know you share a little bit about the first call, and then learning. Okay, I don't know enough to ask them about immunizations yet. I need to go look up, what continent that's in and where it is, so I can then call back with that information to get the right list. But none of it stopped you. You just kept taking steps, and I think that's so powerful and a reminder that we can do that in our life too. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. And then I wanted you to touch on your cover. Your cover is amazing. And I know there's a story behind the cover about photography and mountain climbing and all of that. So do you mind sharing a little bit about where your picture came from, what it is a picture of, and even some of the challenges that can happen trying to take pictures at the elevations you were at?
You bet. Thank you so much. So the picture was the last summit push to the summit, and we're at the bottom of what they call the South Summit. It's on the south side, and it's not the true Everest peak, but when you're standing right in front of it, you think that's it. But what happens is it's very cold, probably minus 25 degrees or so, and your batteries in your cameras don't last very long at that temperature when you pull them out of your down jacket. So several things. When it's nighttime, you really don't get any pictures because it's too dark. And in the daytime, you have to be very quick in these pictures because it completely drains the battery. And oftentimes you have to carry many batteries inside your jacket and change it out if you want to take another photo. So it was a beautiful morning, and we were starting to make the last push up the Hillary steps and the Cornice Ridge, and I pulled out my camera and took a shot of my teammates going up the ridge, and the rest is history. And it is a beautiful juxtaposition of the mountain and the Cornice transfer and the top of Everest, and it's breathtaking.
And we didn't have to climb Mount Everest to see it.
You all
I
get to see it on the front cover. That is so true.
So thank you.
You get to see what it's like. Yes. Yes.
Thank you for bringing that moment to us and giving us an opportunity to experience and see a site that few get to see. And I think that is something really special about your book, and so much of it, it's almost like you are on the journey with Suzanne through these incredible experiences, and you're getting to learn from them and process them while learning different ways you can bring your goals forward in powerful ways. So I love the way your book is written. It's captivating. It pulls you in. And I wanted to share, actually, before I go too deep into some of my questions, because I'm getting very excited, can you let people know where they can get your book? I'm just thinking if some of our listeners are like, well, I don't have this book. Where do I find it? I'd love for you to share. Where can they get the book?
Yes, of course. You can go out to Amazon. It's on Amazon, and currently it's available on Kindle. But this October, this month, it will be coming out in the paperback form, also available on Amazon. Lead from the Top, so it's the only one out there.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. So we can go on Amazon, get our favorite format available, whether it's Kindle or print, that it'll be available but there. Beautiful. Now, as an expert in setting goals and making them happen, so you're in that 2%, you're able to do that powerfully. What was it like in bringing the book forward and setting that goal and taking steps? Were there surprises along the way, things that you would love to pull back the curtain and share with our listeners?
Sure. So the art of writing was fun. It was, I had a story to tell, and many of the snippets of the expeditions that I were on fell nicely into the chapter heading. So those were just great. I could sit down every weekend. I was very diligent. I sat down for 2.5 hours each Saturday and Sunday, and then oftentimes over the week, I would maybe edit or reread it to see how it sounded, and so that I could bring it on to the next weekend to continue. And so my book was pretty wrapped up, so I thought, in probably then around May or June. Wow! It got so busy. That's when the editors got involved and asked more of me. And what it caused me to be was a much better, powerful writer. And so I appreciate working with the wonderful editing team and my publisher, because I had written an interesting book, but my editors and my publisher made it into a powerful book, suggesting I put snippets here and there that I hadn't put in yet. And so, and then towards the end, I thought I was done, but the last month and a half was probably more work than I had done what I thought I had done it to the book. So a lot happens at the end before you launch your book. But it was amazing. It was eye-opening. I know what to do next time. And again, it's an adventure. I encourage everybody to take it on and don't shy away from it, because at the end, you'll be very proud of yourself of having published a book.
Thank you for sharing that. And I appreciate some of the things as you were sharing about this. You scheduled time regularly to work on it, that you embraced the process, enjoyed that, had fun writing and creating that, building that into your life. And then you were open to feedback and editing. Not everybody is. So I love that you were, and that you took that as an opportunity to do more, bring more, take it to another level, and that you leaned in so you could bring your book forward in such a powerful way. And then I know that you decided to do a best-selling launch and bring it forward in a highly visible way to share it out in that way. And I'd love for you to know why you did that. And what was that like when the leading up to the book launching, and then the book launching and watching it go from bestseller to number one to international to number one international bestseller? What was that experience like?
So a lot of my climbing buddies and climbing teams are international. I had just been working for an international company, and many of my team members knew of my expeditions, my adventures. So many people worldwide were interested in my storytelling. So I decided that it was a great idea to share that, not only with my friends here at home, but with my international friends, my teammates. I honored my teammates. That was very important. I didn't get to any of the summits by myself. We all had team dynamics and input, and I wanted to make sure I recognized them and give them the praise and rejoice in their success as well as my success. So it was really important for me to make sure that I had that reach. And, it was exciting. I came up to launching the book. I had to do marketing. I had so many positive feedbacks from my climbing buddies all over the world. They were so proud of me. They were so proud that I had reached this pinnacle like any other adventure. And then when we launched it, and I had some pockets around my Italian good buddies. They were first on that international scene. And it made me proud. It made me proud that they really wanted to read it and enjoy it for themselves. So, it was a great, great experience.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. And I love that you had so many people come together, amazing feedback on your book that rallied together to support you and celebrate you. I think that's such a powerful moment. So not only launching and bringing it to the world, but as we're doing that, being held, being celebrated, and acknowledging that amazing accomplishment of bringing the idea into reality and then sharing it to the world, which you have done in such a beautiful and exquisite way with your powerful book. And we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do that, do you have any quick tip that you would give any potential writer out there? Maybe they're writing already, but aren't sure kind of where to go. Any tips that you would give to someone on their author's journey?
So if you haven't scheduled time to write, it's really important to make it a habit. So that's, you said they might be writing already, but I do want to emphasize, I started writing years ago and didn't make it a habit. So that's number one. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody who might be a book coach or somebody who can help you get through that beginning phase. There is vulnerability. You are sharing something that is personal, but you'll never bring it out to the world if you don't have somebody's eyes on it who still roots for you, but might help you shape it in a way that's more receptive. And of course, find that great publisher. Of course, I used you, Rebecca, and you and your team, I could not have been more proud of, more connected to, felt more at ease with. And that's important, to find that connection in your publisher, to make it feel honest and real, and have that good connection so that everybody feels like it's a family bringing something forth together.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And it was an honor and a joy to support you and bring your powerful book forward. And I'm so glad that you felt that connection, because we certainly did on our side. So thank you for sharing. And I appreciate that on many levels. And listeners, as we go next to our next commercial break, I want to give you an opportunity to really think about, are you building that habit? Have you carved out consistent time to do the writing? Are you really committing to it like we commit to other things to bring it forward and develop that? And I love the suggestion of getting support, getting help, a writing coach to help have additional eyes, heart, and ears on what you're sharing and what you're creating and birthing to support you on the journey. But that it's also someone or a group that you feel very safe in, because I like how you're sharing that, Suzanne. There's a vulnerability in it as well when you're sharing and being open, especially in that creative stage. Really, really important tips. So as we go to our next commercial break, listeners, I want you to think about that. Take a moment, reflect, look on your calendar, and when we come back, we'll let you know how you can go deeper with our amazing Suzanne.
Be sure to friend us on Facebook. You can do it right now. Visit facebook.com/Voice America or search for us at keyword Voice America.
Are you ready to move to your next level? Listen for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with host Rebecca Hall-Greider. Each show will focus on a central topic with discussion, guests, and your questions being featured. Our show is perfect for women who feel a call in their heart to step out in a bigger, more powerful way in their life and just need some encouragement, inspiration, and practical steps to support them on their journey. Empowering Women, Transforming Lives can be heard live every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Influencers channel. And join us for a replay of the show on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment channel.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you made a couple notes of steps you can take. Perhaps looking at the calendar and recognizing, oh, I haven't been committing to regular time and steps. It's just kind of as I get to it. Perhaps that's the next step that you're going to start formalizing it a little bit, carving that time out to bring your story forward, to bring your message forward, and bring your book to life so that it can have the impact it's called to have. And behind the scenes, I was talking with Suzanne and asking her if she had a a tip in her expertise, something to support us in stepping forward in our big goals. And she actually had on her heart to read a section from her book that speaks to exactly that. So with that, I'm going to hand the floor over to Suzanne to read her beautiful reading from the book. Suzanne, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I did not accomplish this exclusively by myself. It took a team, a guide, a mountaineering company, a climbing buddy, family support, and many others to help me reach my goals. You, too, can get the help, support that you need to get the clarity that is needed to get started for you or for your organization so that you can reach for the top. Someone to guide you along your path, someone like me. As your journey unfolds, you will change. You will develop resilience as you foster a skill set to meet the unexpected. You will become more self-aware, establishing a sense of both stability and flexibility in your focus. You will develop strength by letting go of what is no longer served you. You will grow physically, mentally, and emotionally. You will learn not to sweat the small stuff and how to lift others around you so that they don't either. You will learn to lead. You need never be alone. If you want to reach out and get the support, we would be honored to have a conversation about your big adventure, goal, Everest, and help you gain insight and understanding on your next best step for you or your organization.
Thank you. Beautiful share. And I can feel your heart, your desire to help, that those encouraging words that it takes many of us to bring those big goals forward. It is not a solo journey. Thank you so much for your willingness to come alongside us, to share your wisdom, your expertise in that beautiful, beautiful reading with us. So with that, people might be leaning in and saying, yes, I'm ready. I want to have support. I'd love for you to share. How can they contact you? What's the best way to do that, to connect in and go deeper?
You can always go to my webpage, www.leadfromthetop.com. You can find me there, Suzanne, at leadfromthetop.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn and Facebook, Suzanne Nance.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I so appreciate. You can get her powerful book available on Amazon in Kindle and print. And since we have a moment here, are there any new things that we can know about that we heard here first, that are coming, that are in the works as people are getting to know you and following you? What are some things we should be watching for?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm working on a couple projects. Of course, I've started writing the second series in the Lead from the Top series. It's going to be a 3-series book. Many more tales to tell, and marrying them with people's leadership and their own desires for success. And then I'm working on it's a virtual visualization. That's not quite the name of the company, but I am doing empowerment series. It's a 6-series session that's going to be available coming soon. We haven't set a date. I'm doing a beta. But they're about a 5-7 minute meditation explanation story, and they too, a lot of them mirror my mountaineering experiences. And then empowerment and how we step into our integrity and our purpose, our motivation, and how we work well in teams. And given some of the current times that we have and the stresses that we are dealing with, it's good to find that empowerment in ourselves. And so that's what the series is going to be about.
Wonderful. So we can connect in, get on your list, follow you in social media, and as those things come out, we can stay abreast of the latest and the greatest and all that is coming forward, which is exciting. And it circles back to what you were saying earlier, that once you accomplish that goal, it's, set other goals. What are other things that you want to do, other summits, other things you want to accomplish and bring forward? And I love that you are walking that talk and you're doing it in so many ways. Thank you again for joining us today. I so appreciate it. I know our listeners, I'm sure, have enjoyed getting to know you. And listeners, I want to thank you for leaning in. I hope you got some great tips and things to think about and reflect on as you're looking at your own journey. And what are some of those goals, those things you are called to bring forward, whether it's in your writing journey, there are things that you're wanting to bring forward. It can be in your personal journey. It can be in your business journey. But set those goalposts, set steps along the way so that you can move it forward and carve out the time to do it. Because when you have those seeds planted in your heart, it's because your message is needed. You achieving those goals are needed. So be willing to say yes, be willing to lean in and take the steps to bring it forward. If we can serve or support you in any way, we are always happy to do that. You can go to our site, yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Again, that's yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. And there's a button you can click to set up a time to talk. We are always happy to do so to support you on your journey. And I want you to remember that you are absolutely needed. Those dreams on your heart are actually calling to step forward, to bring your message forward. So as you go forward throughout this week, throughout this month, I want you to look for steps you can take to bring your message forward, because it's absolutely needed in the world, especially at times like this. We look forward to hearing from you, to seeing your messages come forward, and to talking with you next week. Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in to The Author's Journey. Please join Rebecca Hall Grider for another edition of the Author's Journey podcast every Monday on the Voice America Variety Channel. And until we talk again, use some of the tips and inspiration from today's show to guide you as you lean in to bringing your message forward.